Shukran.
Shukran.
The question for Sandra is, are there certain countries or regions that haven't gotten your humor, or are there ones that get it more than the U.S.?
Well, I feel like there's a lot of places in the U.S. that don't get my humor. I mean, there's some people in New York that don't get my humor. If you go into the wrong situations, I mean, I've gone on The View and people don't get my sense of humor. You don't have to go too far to find people who don't get irony. You know? So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Ourselves to foreign places, Sandra.
I have to say, first of all, Anthony, that was amazing, because I remember when you guys were heading off to that incredible journey, I was thinking, why can't I do that? Now I know why. Very moving and beautiful. What led me to Morocco on 3 different occasions was a sense of desperation. To go back to a place I had dreamed of, imagined, and longed for. Nothing came close to the emotion and desire I felt staring at the map of North Africa. It called to me as if I'd been there in 100 other lifetimes. On my second journey to Morocco, things were quite different. In the years since my first carefree, spontaneous trip, I'd become a mother. Though still a gypsy at heart, with a strong desire for beautiful sheets and top-of-the-line mattresses, some focus on detail had become paramount. Obsessed with all things organic, I started to panic. What would I feed Cicely, my child, once we arrived in this land without amenities? I checked in with my friend Sumaya, who would be hosting us in her family home in the Kasbah of Tangier. Sumaya seemed nonplussed by the whole conversation and simply gave me her address. I sent out the troops to gather cases of organic baby food, formula diapers. You would have thought we were heading into some sort of gulag. We packed this all up in big boxes, carefully wrapping each bottle, then alerted UPS, and they came in to haul them away. I ran after them saying, "Be careful, please. This is precious cargo. It must arrive at its destination safely." Then I sat for a while thinking about its journey and my own. This was a huge trip. I was bringing the whole gang, Cicely, her nanny Vicky, who at age 10 had found her way up from Guatemala alone to rejoin her mother Anita in LA. Anita had left to find work in America a few years earlier so that she could support her children back home, even though she knew she may never see them again. Mitch, my musical director, and Brianne, my assistant from Gerritsen Beach, Brooklyn. We all headed out to JFK Airport and boarded our flight to Tangier via London. Need a visa after all. Sumaya and her father Absalom, who had taken over at this point, remained calm. After all, this is a man who lives by the credo, America may have the clock, but we have the time. My patience, not one of my stronger virtues anyway, was worn paper thin by this point. But Daddy told us all to go on to the house. He'd stay behind to sort things out. I wept throughout the car ride, wondering what I would do without my stalwart, albeit sometimes crazy stalwart, Vicky G. We arrived at the edge of the Kasbah to much excitement and glamour. The car stopped and out ran a cadre of Jabala-festooned gentlemen with carts to carry away our luggage. The family in the main house welcomed us all for an immediate glass of Moroccan whiskey, mint tea, and we sat in the entry courtyard as the sun came down. Twinkling candles were all lit around, and Sumaya introduced us to the household. Of course, there was Mama, Kadouche, who was incredibly chic, and a mother to us all. She held Cicely and fussed over her. I nervously asked, "Has the baby's food arrived?" That brought the house down. Sideways glances between all the ladies led me to believe that this had been looked on as a folly. Kadouche hugged me, saying, "We will make the baby fresh foods. She does not want all this stuff that has traveled longer than you."